What's up, guys? Welcome back to Boost Brothers Garage. Welcome back to the OG Garage. There's an explanation there, but it doesn't really matter. In this mini series, we are going to be working on this this R53 Mini Cooper S. Lots of upgrades. Stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun. And at the end, we're going to strap this thing on the dyno and see how much power we can make. You guys have actually seen this car on the channel before. This is my buddy Brandon's car. Well, actually, it's his girlfriend Jackie's car. They share it as a track car. We did a separate mini build before to get it track ready. We did BC coilovers, Konig wheels, Bridstone RE71R tires. We did a full-length header, full catback. It's got a number of things done to it. So I'll put a list of the mods in the description below, basically the starting point of where we're at. But right now, I'm going to show you this table full of all sorts of stuff that's getting thrown at this car. So here's our parts haul, guys. We have, well, I don't even know where to start, really, but we have an upgraded belt tensioner, we have an upgraded camshaft, we have a Quaife LSD, we have a tune, we have an upgraded supercharger pulley for the upgraded Harrop TVS Supercharger. We have injectors, we have motor mounts. The whole reason that we even had to pull the engine and deal with a bunch of nonsense after we installed the Harrop Supercharger in the first place is we have to replace the factory harmonic balancer. So we've got that, we've got our trans mount, we've got an upgraded clutch over there, just a bunch of stuff. I'll go through things a little bit more as I'm installing them, but this gives you an idea of how much work I have ahead of me. And here's the engine and trans itself already pulled out. I thought it would be a lot easier to just pull this entire engine out of the car and transmission and everything instead of trying to do the clutch in the car and mess with the front accessories and that tensioner and all that stuff. So I just ripped everything out. There's the front of the car, the BC coilovers, a pink Barbie Jeep, and my new 125cc shifter cart, which you guys will see more of at some point. Before I dive too much further into this, there's two things I want to say. Number one, recently I've been hearing from some of my subscribers that, once again, you guys aren't seeing videos in your feed. So just do me a favor, subscribers, click the notification bell. It really makes me mad that I put forth as much time and energy and effort as I do to make these videos, and you don't get to see them. And not only do you not get to see them, but I don't get compensated for them. And well, the channel doesn't make any money in the first place, so it's even worse when you guys don't get to see the video. So do me a favor, hit the notification bell. Number two, I'm probably going to be doing a lot of time lapse in this video. I'm going to be stopping to explain parts as I install them, but this is by no means going to be a how-to video. There are a lot of how-to videos out there for R53 Minis, some really good ones. If you have questions, I can point you in the right direction in the comments below, but this is more just going to be me having a good time. I'm going to be listening to music, doing the time lapse, getting this thing knocked out for my buddy. If you guys don't like time lapse, I apologize. I'm going to try to keep it, you know, in short little sections and still get in there and talk and explain what I'm doing. But if you're expecting a full-blown how-to video, this isn't the one. I think I'm going to start with the camshaft. That's the most critical thing. Everything else is pretty simple except for that LSD, which will also be interesting, but I can't do that until I get the transmission off, and so I'm going to knock the cam out first. Real quick, before I go any further, I just wanted to show you guys two things that I did in order to make sure that I don't mess up the timing as I change this cam out. One, there's an arrow right there. I went ahead and used a paint marker to mark where the chain meets the arrow, and then I also put two zip ties on here. So the tensioners in there won't allow that cam sprocket to drop down, so I don't have to worry about that. But regardless, I wanted to, you know, give myself a little bit of a safety net. And there we have it. Factory camshaft is out. And here is the new camshaft. This is from Newman Cams. This is the BMW i250 400H. This cam is specifically designed for the Supercharged Mini Cooper S. The RPM range is 2,000 to 6,500. I didn't see the exact specifications listed as far as duration and lift and all that, but what they do say is it is developed specifically for adding mid-range to the car, which should work well for this specifically because we're using it on the track. So mid-range is going to be important, especially on corner exit. I'm going to get this thing all cleaned up, and then I'm going to put some assembly lube there where the cam sits so that when we start the engine for the first time, we don't have any potential issues there. So back to time lapse. With the new camshaft installed, which was smooth sailing for the most part. When you're doing it, one tip I'll give you is pay attention. One side of the rocker arms, the two rocker arms are built into one piece, and that whole assembly drops in real easily. On the other side, all of the rocker arms are just single rocker arms, and they can move around a lot. And if you're not careful, when you drop it down in where that shaft rides, the rocker follower arm, you can actually land it in the wrong spot. And when you start to tighten the bolts, you end up tearing up that bearing surface where that shaft is supposed to ride. So that started to happen to me. Luckily, I caught it before it really became an issue because it would have just wrecked this head. So I noticed something was off and I slowed down, but there was one spot where I had scored the edge of that bearing surface a little bit, and I actually had to file it down. So make sure you don't do that. Other than that, it's real simple. I torqued all of the cam bolts to 22 foot-pounds and the cam sprocket bolt to 75 foot-pounds. Now I'm going to move on to the Evolution Motorworks Billet tensioner. This is an upgrade that is pretty necessary when you're going to be running smaller pulleys and specifically an upgraded supercharger. This is what's left of the factory tensioner. It's pretty well destroyed, and if you look at this shock absorber thing is just, it's shot. Yeah, trash. On top of that, I am going to install the Way Motorworks harmonic balancer. This is actually a Way Motorworks branded ATI super damper. ATI makes awesome stuff. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. So while this isn't necessary per se, the factory one on this engine was shot. It actually separated right here. So this whole crank pulley portion was just loose. And we didn't realize that, or I guess Zach and Brandon didn't realize that when they installed the Harrop Supercharger. And we were at the track the first time we ever started the car. And the minute we started the car, it threw the belt off. We weren't sure what was going on. They ended up not being able to track the car at all that whole weekend. We took it home, threw it up on jack stands. I got under there and was messing around and saw that. So that's how all this got started. But this is gonna be a nice upgrade. I'm gonna go ahead and slap those two things on. As you can see, the rubber inside here completely failed and the whole thing came apart. So that was our main issue. Next up, 600cc injectors. These do not have the same harness connection as the factory ones, so the kit came with the proper pigtails, so we don't have to make our own, which is nice. So that's all we can do to the engine until it's back in the car. We can't bolt the supercharger back on until the engine's in, or at least that's the order I took it apart, and that's what I plan to do again. So next time we're gonna get this sweet little LSD installed. We're gonna get the engine put back in the car, the supercharger installed, and get the tune done. Yeah, and then we'll be ready to do our first drive, take it to the dyno, and see what she's got. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.